Hello, everybody. Welcome to Lützi News. Today, with me, Lakshmi, and my wonderful
Lola. Yes, today we have another live stream in English, and we are going to talk about the last days because this weekend a lot happened here in and around Lützi, and we want to give you an overview.
Yes, it's been a heavy weekend. Maybe you already have heard of some things. As also the news about Lützi, I just saw a thread yesterday about somebody who was like posting all the tweets and all the articles which went around the world about Lützi from like India, Indonesia, Italy, out of China, and so many countries more. It was just insane to see how this little village and our fight and our struggle, which we have like upheld the last 2.5 years, has made it so far that now the whole nation, like whole of Germany, but beyond, is actually talking about the resistance here. So this is a very good thing, but I don't know, Lola, how do you feel after like this weekend? I'm just...
Yeah, I think we will come to a lot of really good and impressive and strong things that happened this weekend. A lot of power from a lot of people, but we will also talk about a lot of repression, about violence, about sad and frustrating things that make us really angry. So we already want to tell you that we are going to talk about police violence today. We are going to show photos of destroyed structures in Lützi as well. So if you don't feel safe with it, keep an eye on yourself and maybe you don't watch the live stream. Just that you can keep that in mind.
Yeah. Because
maybe, I don't know, you have been almost the whole weekend in Lützi. You have seen a lot of the eviction going on, so maybe you could begin to like make an overview about what happened the last days. Maybe we can start on Friday and
yeah, for sure. I think one of the most heavy stuff was for sure the eviction of and the destruction of Eckhard's Hof. Eckhard is the farmer who was the last one standing in Lützi, and he was the one who actually was living in this house, which is already not there almost. You can see the last bit of it, the white wall. It's a house where he lived and his family lived the past 4 generations. And it's just insane how it's all gone now. And it was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful barn and a little inside patio where, or it's not that little actually, like we had huge parties there and also did the farewell party of Eckhard as he had to leave, as he was like fighting through all the instances to actually fight that he can be in his home, in his house, where his family has been for so many years. And now it's just, I actually don't have the words to describe how it must feel to lose a home like this.
Yes, as well as something that happened on Friday was a quite dangerous scene happening at the treehouse Streichholzschachtel. A really complicated word.
It's so typically German, right?
It's like always the example for how terrible German is. Yeah, at Streichertschaften, the treehouse, the police cut a really important rope that was really important for the treehouse. So 2 activists were in danger for a long time because one activist was on top of the treehouse and the other one hanging in a traverse linked to the treehouse. So we are really, really glad that nothing happened to them, but this is maybe like a general example for how the police is risking lives every day, showing that the profit of the German industry is more important than climate justice, than fighting the climate crisis, because this is why we're here. We are not doing this for fun. It's not fun. It's really the fight and the necessity to be here and to fight for climate justice. Yeah. So maybe something else that happened on Friday was the eviction of the monopods on the meadow. And to show you also something really empowering, video that got to my emotions is a statement we received at Friday night from the Während, and we would like to show it to you now.
Die sich gerade außenrum fragen, was gerade passiert. Heute sollte Wäldchen geräumt werden, der Ort, an dem ich gerade stehe. Und wie ihr sehen könnt, sind wir noch hier. Obwohl die Polizei versucht hat, alle Strukturen zu zerstören, obwohl sie alles ausgeräumt hat und viele Leute geräumt wurden, sind immer noch Menschen da. Es sind Menschen im Tower, es sind Menschen in der Reihenhaussiedlung, es sind Menschen im Phantasialand und es sind Menschen hier im Wäldchen. Denn wir wissen, dass wir für etwas Größeres kämpfen. Wir kämpfen in Solidarität mit all den anderen Kämpfen, die weltweit stattfinden für Klimagerechtigkeit. Dafür, dass die Braunkohle unter unseren Füßen verdammt nochmal auch hier bleibt. Und für einen Systemwandel, den wir einfach selbst in die Hand nehmen müssen. Und deswegen sind wir hier. Danke an alle, die uns unterstützen. Wäldchen bleibt stabil und Lützi lebt.
What a spirit. I really like that video.
Yeah. The day on
Saturday.
Friday, it was the Paula, right? Which got destroyed.
Yeah, maybe it already started then, yeah.
Yeah, one of the biggest houses we had, and which was like getting more and more in the center of also the village, kind of. It was really, it was so nice to have the Paula, as before RWE security was still in the village, as we were occupying one part of the village, and then a year ago, like this was actually the most epic story, that we had like a decentralized action with FFF, and everything went wrong. Like the weather was awful. Like we also wanted to do a live stream. It wasn't working at all. Everybody was just soaking in rain. And then it was like, and somebody told me before, because I was the press speaking person, like something's going to happen today. Something which is like, and you should like make it into a queer feminist spectrum and like perspective. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, what is going to happen? And then actually, like right in the middle of the whole program, I saw people on the roof of Paula, and after that they told me that it was like possibly maybe the fastest house occupation ever in Germany's history, because like they knocked on the door and they were to the RWE security. They were like, hey, we would like to occupy the house. So would you let us? And they were like, yeah, but could we get our bags now? So it was like 7 minutes. Crazy. The security went out, they went in, and it was like, and since then the Paula belongs to us. It was just crazy, and it was really so beautiful to see that the queer feminist struggle was always in the center of Paula, and Paula was always a safer space, not only for females, but especially for all the people who define themselves as inter, non-binary, trans or agender. So that was beautiful that also this LGBTQIA plus community actually painted the Paula in the color of the pride flag. And yeah, since then it was also a symbol of Lützi, apart from the X.
Yeah.
And now maybe we can see the next picture. That was actually the first thing RWE tore down. And this is also like a symbol of like capitalism and the system in which we're living, which does not allow people who don't fit into their system, that they will just destroy them. And that's also a thing that I think Paula made it very clear, that the climate, like the fight for climate justice, can only be a climate justice fight if we like put all these fights together and fight for the liberation of queers and also, for example, BIPOCs, as also at the Paula was the Hanau-Denkmal. Maybe I will tell you later about it, about the city of Hanau and what happened there in Germany. As also there was a BIPOC safer space in the Paula, where always people who define themselves as Black, Indigenous and people of color could go, just breathe, chill out, drink a tea, sleep. And it was really beautiful to have that resort there.
Yeah, so the Paula got destroyed this weekend, but the queer feminist, anti-racist spirit, the movement you just talked about, is not dead. So it's something we really strengthened and learned during the occupation in Lützi as well, trying to see what is the world looking like we are wishing for.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you.
And it was not all like struggle. As the Paula was also the only place, apart from the WGs, which had warm showers, which was awesome. And we also had like flinter brunches there. So female, lesbian, inter, non-binary, trans, agender people had like brunches every other Sunday, and we had like a little champagne and mimosas, and it was like great. So if you need something in your life, this is what you need. And yeah, is everything okay? I also like struggle with my microphone here. Hello.
I don't know, but they keep. I don't understand the signs.
Okay. Well, I would just go on maybe with the Reihenhaussiedlung. I would really love to have a map. Next time I will have a map so you can see where the police has been like going back and forth, and it was just like there's so many things which happened on one day.
Yeah.
And they have just been like crazy to like evict everything in one day.
Yeah.
And it just shows that they are really, really scared that people would come and like reoccupy the structures. So they just demolished everything.
Happened, actually, as well. So there were a lot of like reoccupations of some structures. But maybe we can go on with the next picture where you can see other structures that got evicted and destroyed. One really central structure in Lützi was also the tower. The tower was like one of the central places in the village, and it's also the place where we held like our plenaries in a way we wish to organize, like the other, like the other society by, I don't know, by deciding in consensus about our topics, by trying to have everyone in mind, and by trying to not organize ourselves in a capitalist way, but to dream of other societies. Because one thing I think I'm really aware of is that capitalism is not the only form of organizing ourselves as a society, and if we want to fight climate crisis, which is what we really do, we have to organize in another way, because real climate climate justice is not possible in our capitalist society. So this is what the tower also stands for, like another society. And there's actually a funny anecdote. I heard that the German Museum of Architecture wanted to have the tower for their exhibition, because they said it's like the most impressive, biggest structure, and they want to show it and keep it as a piece of contemporary history, which is like really great.
I was just like, at some point this tower was there, and it hadn't like walls, and it was just like the branches, and it has like 4 floors or something, and it was also used as a storage for the other tree houses, and they had like ropes from all the tree houses into the tower, so they just could go there and get the food or water or power batteries and whatsoever to and go back in their tree houses. And this is how they also reoccupied all the tree houses actually via the tower. It was like central.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the center of the resistance as well, and one of the centers of the resistance in the last days. I think we have another really interesting structure to talk about. There were so many rumors already before the eviction of Lützi. What is this tunnel actually like? What is it about? It sounds so crazy, having a tunnel under a village.
I was really, really, really in shock when I actually heard that people were building a tunnel and are actually in a tunnel under Lützi. So, and that was just crazy how this information was like going viral in the internet. I think I already saw like people making merch with the people the people from the tunnel. And it was. I think it's crazy actually that now it is definitely one of the reasons that the police can't cut off the trees in the little forest we have in the Tatort. And both of them in the tunnel, or at least 2, as we know. They said that they don't want that the world knows who they are, because then it might be like a heroistic ego macho move. But instead they want to point out that it took so many people to actually build up this movement, build up the structure of the village, build or like feed them in the kitchen for everybody, and as we call it, the Küfer. And first and foremost, they do it because they want to fight coal. They want to fight against lignite, the climate disaster worldwide, and fight for a liberated society. And I think that's really brave. I wouldn't know if and I'm actually also just just imagine being with one person in a tunnel for like 24/7. And I don't know, like, if we would be in a tunnel, like, I don't know.
What will
like,
happen?
I love you, but
yeah, I think
crazy.
they still got their humor. Like there are like funny pictures of them holding a phone, communicating to the rest of the world. So yeah, it's a really effective form to stop the eviction, basically. And yeah, the tunnel is still there. And yeah, what happened today is that the police said they will stop the eviction, like they kind of finished up there, which is absurd because they then called the eviction of a tunnel like a rescue, which has to be done from the, who does it, like the
Fire brigade.
Yeah, the fire brigade. And yeah, we want to state that this is nonsense. Like the eviction is not over. There are still persons occupying Lützerath, fighting against coal, fighting against all the global disasters, all the global climate disasters, and fighting for life and freedom, basically. So yeah, this is maybe the story of the tunnel.
Yeah, so right now we are really, really worried what will actually happen to them when like the RWE fire brigade takes over. As well, we have seen that the police is pretty brutal and violent, but also the RWE, they are also like not very kind to us. And this is actually a video of another tunnel, which like I was there and everybody was like, oh my god, there's the second tunnel, and everybody was just like gathering around it, but it was like,
it's not the tunnel. Like,
no.
Yeah, it really took them.
It was just like the biggest prank ever.
Yeah. Sometimes it's nice to see these videos, like they keep on searching for the tunnel and not finding it. Sometimes we need these videos as, to have something to laugh about as well. Yeah.
And actually, today, the tunnel is still standing. As we said, like we now don't know how the communication also to the people in the tunnel is going to be, as the police is not offering to like communicate or like do anything with them anymore. So the RWE fire brigade wants to take over, and we seriously don't know how much interest they have in like also letting the press take part in this matter, because RWE has also done a lot to like restrict press from coming into the grounds, and you couldn't just have like a press license. You had to go somewhere to the next village, which is like 10 to 15 meters right, and then get an accreditation there, and then you would like get transferred back without your car, or like sometimes they still have place in the parking lot, but then also you aren't allowed to go like near to the place where they are evicting. So you had to stand away like 500 meters, 200 meters, and also if they would go somewhere inside, you can't even, like if they're all in, you can't get in on your own like safety measures. So that's what they always said, that like, yeah, we're so concerned about your safety, blah blah, but like in real life they just wouldn't let you in to see what's happening and what the police is doing. So
Actually, you have been inside at some point in this weekend. Maybe you can tell a little bit more what happened today and And also, I would be interested to know, like, how did it feel for you to see the eviction?
Yeah, well, yesterday the tower was thrown down, was destroyed. I don't know whether we have a video about on that. That was definitely crazy to see. And that thing, what you see on the right side, are actually solar panels, which were donated by Greenpeace, as like RWE destroyed our electricity nets, as they just wanted us to like freeze and not have any water or electricity anymore in December. So yeah, that was, I don't know, it was just, you're standing at some point and it's just like trees falling down, the tower falling down. You look on the other side and the skate hall which we had was like torn apart. Then stuff like this is coming, like a huge crane, like over 50 meters, and like the SEK, which like this MI6 from Germany, or the FBI or whatsoever, I don't know.
I think like the special forces.
Special forces were like in Lützi to get the people out of the trees, which is like completely insane. They have like people who are like Klettercops.
Climbing cops.
Climbing cops.
I don't know actually.
That sounds so like a nice thing. Well, this is the new series, the climbing cops. And it was just crazy. They went with the crane, and then they were like let off into the trees. Which was just crazy, and this was already spotted at Hambacher Forst, the forest occupation in 2018, which was saved actually by the climate movement, and yeah, it was just sad, so sad and unbelievable. You couldn't really believe your eyes, what is happening. Because there was so much happening at the same time, and like also the people who have been put in danger, it has just been like at least 5 people could have died at one day because of the violent police operations, as they were not taking care of anything and just like were really reluctant with all safety measures. And actually press people and like parliamentary observers had to like step in to actually call out every mistake they were doing. And hopefully like we were really lucky that we had press and parliamentary observers who already have been in Hambacher Forst and in the Hambach Forest, and they already knew about some stuff. For example, if like there's one tree and a person is like hanging in a rope on this tree, then you can't cut the trees next to them, because then when one branch just lands on the rope, then this person could fall and die.
Oh.
So and
they cannot do it, but they did it actually.
Yeah, and that actually happened. I have been there. I've seen it.
Oh.
And like I was screaming and nobody listened, and then I called everybody to like put attention to this. And it's just insane that we, or like most of the people in Germany, think that the police is like, or this institution is giving them security or justice, but as we see, they are definitely not.
Maybe we will come to this later, because as we already told you, like, it was a really emotional weekend. A lot of really sad, really moving things happened, but also a lot of really nice, crazy, motivating stuff. For example, there was a huge demonstration on Saturday. I think that most of you heard about it. It was like the official demonstration of the NGOs supporting the struggle in Lützi. And it was crazy to see. Here you can see a video from one part of the demonstration, actually. It was crazy because there were so many buses from almost every German city arriving. You can see the masses of people at the demonstration. And actually, what I really like to see is that most of the people in the demonstration didn't stop at the like official point, like for the final demonstration, but continued to walk over the fields near to the coal mine in direction to Lützi. I think you saw that on the previous or on the last videos. Actually, there were also some famous visits, like for example, Greta Thunberg joined our protest, our demonstration, and they said it were like, what was the number, like 35,000 people. So 35,000 people came to Lützi this Saturday.
But I think we also need to talk about that, like, all the trains were so full that they actually had to get off the trains from Cologne, for example, or from the nearest cities like Düsseldorf. They were so full and they were like just like cancelling all the trains.
So maybe we would have been more, like, because people couldn't get here by train anymore.
And I also don't get it, because like to every major, like a bigger soccer game, like the Deutsche Bahn, the German trains are like putting more trains out because they know that people will be going. And this is actually also one of the things what the police did, because the police said in the beginning that like 9,000 people or like 7,000 people maybe would be coming. And I guess that's also the number which like with which the German train has been dealing with. But actually we knew already from the start that we would be definitely at least 10,000 or even more.
And we were more.
And we were a lot more. And all the highways were jammed. And also, that was also very beautiful, I guess, that there have been demonstrations in solidarity with Lützi in different cities which were like a little bit farther away, like Berlin, like Leipzig, in the east of Germany. So if we count everything in, then I guess we would be way more, maybe 50,000.
Yeah, sure, more. I think what was I would really like to highlight that a huge amount of the people in the demonstration, like, they decided to directly walk to Lützi and to overcome the one of the the first police chain. And for me it was really impressive to see, because there were so many different people also, because like some media and the police always says, it's just the really radical activists. And of course we are really radical in our beliefs, but it was like a demonstration for everyone. There were really all people, there were children, like whole families joining the demonstration, and also like making their way to the really, really muddy fields, like you will see videos of that later, towards Lützi. And then, for me, there was one moment that was so empowering, because I thought that, it was really great to see like a finger going through the police chain, being supported by like, by other groups catching their attention, and then coming really close to Lützerath. In the end, like Lützerath was surrounded by, you can say it was like a police fortress.
Oh my
you
God,
saw it
yes.
from inside.
That was so crazy.
It was so
Like,
crazy. Like
seriously.
there were cops, then there was sound. What is it? Like a
Fence.
like a fence. Then there were cop cars. Then there was a fence. Like it showed how much fear the
No,
company.
that wasn't it. That wasn't everything. Like fence, cop cars, like nose to nose. Like you literally couldn't go through the cop cars, and then there were the fences. Then there were like horses, police on
Right,
horses,
yeah.
the dogs, and also the big cars who like had sprinkler systems or like
the water cannons.
the water cannons. Thank you.
Yeah.
Which was just like you were looking from one side to another, and everywhere on the horizon there were police cars.
This is how climate policy is made right now here in Germany. Like they build a fortress around one of the main sources of climate crisis in Germany. Like the coal mines here in the region are the biggest source of emissions in whole Europe, and they are fighting to protect it for making profits. And there were so many people showing that this is a crime. Like it's really a climate crime. And a lot of people showed that they have a different opinion and that they are willing to fight for it actually.
Yeah.
So this is what I really liked about Saturday.
Yeah, but also it was crazy to see that not only they were like investing so much money by recruiting all the police people from like everywhere in Germany. Literally, like Germany has 16 different states, and they were recruiting from 14 different states. So that's just insane. I think the only states which haven't been there is like Bremen, which is like a city which is almost broke, and I think I didn't see Saarland, which is like one of the smallest states in Germany, and probably also broke. I don't know, but it's just insane how much money the taxpayer must have been paying to evict Lützerath. And first and foremost, they also protected the profit of RWE with direct violence.
I think
And
we should
plain
definitely
violence.
talk about this right now as well.
Yeah. And here is a huge content warning. Like, I think this isn't easy to watch, but it's a reality, and it's not only happening. And I think this is always happening in Germany as well, that they like show with the fingers to what's happening in Iran right now, or like to what's happening in the US, like on a daily basis. But this is also happening in Germany, and maybe we can have an expert who has been there.
Maybe we'll first watch some scenes
Yeah?
from Saturday,
Okay.
and then we're going to talk to someone who suffered from police violence. So this is, one of the impressions about how the state is defending fossil companies.
The last one was like,
These are just moments someone caught in a camera. So it's crazy. There were so many horrible things happening yesterday, and these are only a few scenes. So maybe let's talk to someone to hear some direct experience. Let's see if they are already here with us.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, Kante. How are you?
Hey, Lakshmi, I barely hear you. So Annika has to repeat all the questions.
All right. Can you hear me now better?
Yeah, a bit better.
Okay. Hi, how are
Sorry.
you? And where are you, baby?
I'm in the info tent on the camp. I'm fucked up by everything that I've seen, basically, or heard that the police did during this eviction. And I'm really angry about the fact that they declared that the eviction would be over, although there's still 2 anarchists in the tunnel that don't need to be saved. They need to be evicted because they are resisting lignite mining, global climate crisis, and they are fighting for free society. Though, so it's a political fight still going on. It's no rescue action, and actually, RWE shouldn't be responsible for doing it because it's a company that is wanting to make profit out of the coal. So why should we allow a company to evict people from that are resisting their capitalist interests? That I don't trust the company and wanting to preserve their lives. So actually, it's a ridiculous thing to do that the decision makers are giving it to the hands of the company, the lives of our 2 anarchist friends in the tunnel, and that makes me angry. Yeah, but I'm
Totally.
healthy. I'm not hurt or anything.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, we have been talking about the tunnel, and I'm also very worried. Actually,
Sorry, the sound became really weird. You sound like a robot.
me?
We didn't understand you.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe we have some technical
Oh
problems here.
no! I
Okay,
sound
now
like
we
a
can hear you.
robot.
Kante, you told us that you met someone who had terrible experiences yesterday. Is the person with you?
Yes. You want to see the arm? The person.
Yeah, the person actually wants to
Yeah.
stay anonymous. So, yeah, maybe, I don't know, you don't have to answer the question, but your arm got broken yesterday. Maybe you can tell us a bit what happened.
You can show it. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, I hope you can hear me. So I was part of this demonstration on yesterday, where the demonstration approached Lützi, and as we did so, we were met with police at several occasions, and I am one of the people who got injured in that context. So I was hit several times. I was hit on the head, only slightly, so I'm not badly injured on the head. But at one occasion, they hit me quite severely on the hand, and so my hand is broken now.
It's so terrible to hear. Yeah.
Can you tell us with what exactly they hit you?
Well, they hit me with a tongfa. So this is the kind of stick that the BFE, the riot groups, use to beat people. So obviously, I was absolutely defenseless against this. I mean, I could defend my body only with my own arms, with my own hands, and as this stick hit my hand, it was sufficiently forceful to break it. So I would say this was an extremely cowardly deed by this prick of a cop that was fully armored, and just decided to beat basically defenseless people at will, without being provoked in any way, apart from the fact that we were there.
Thanks so much for talking about it, and all the best for you and your hand. I hope it's all going to recover very well. As we probably also have English-speaking viewers, I would just translate what's written on it. It says, climate preservation is handwork. That's that's so nice actually that you take this somewhat with humor and yeah.
Maybe to give you some more like summary about yesterday, there were also various statements of the medics and some doctors being present at the demonstration, and they told a lot of cases in which police officers hit the demonstrators, the protesters, with against their head, like continuing to hurt them while they are already being cared, like receiving medical aid. Like one unconscious person, really a lot of fractures. I'm only telling you this because sometimes it's so hard to believe that this actually happens. Like there was one person who got bit from the police dog, and we want to speak about this topic to make it visible, because often it's not spoken about. And as you already said, there are so many persons also in Germany, especially like black people or people of color, suffering or fearing police violence every day.
Not only violence, like we have a humongous amount of people who are actually getting killed, either in police custody or under police violence. The last one of the last ones has been Mohammed Drame, here not far away in Dortmund actually. Mm-hmm. He was a young man, a young black man, who was also actually in a very tense psychological state, and still the police has escalated the situation, and also they have then killed him with 5 shots. And this is the reality in Germany. It's always been tried in Germany to not talk about this, as probably a lot of Germans also wouldn't have heard about his name. So we are also standing here against a police system which is built upon like saving the profits and guarding and protecting profits of companies like RWE, instead of actually caring for human lives.
Yeah, this is part of our anti-capitalist fight, because there is no justice in a capitalist state coming from the police. So, yeah.
Well,
maybe. Oof.
It's a hard topic for sure, and but we also have seen Kante now in the camp, and the person with Kante, and this is actually the place where people have come back together after the demonstration to like recharge and be safe and get the first aid, also get food, chill at the fireplace, also celebrate themselves in the first plenaries.
It looks so
afterwards.
colorful also.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
And this is not only the only space where people are sleeping. There are like 3 more places like that at,
I think even more already.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. Like people kept arriving yesterday, and they like opened another tent space after the other. So it's it's such an important infrastructure and so many important teams coming together at the camp to make it possible that so many people come together and defend Lützerath together. So we already saw Kante, and Kante is right now at the camp, so maybe we can come back to you. And actually the camp is also a space where people coming from the eviction can recover and get some food and warm drinks. And Kante is one of these persons. I hope you can now hear us better than before. Kante, you came back to the camp after your eviction. Would you like to tell us a bit about the eviction and how it was to come back or to come to the camp?
Yeah, because my eviction went quite nice, and for me, I had good luck, but others didn't. I want to hand back to the person next to me for a short moment and ask them if they want to tell why if they still would do civil disobedience and why, maybe, if yes. Or you told me something about the history of it that I found cool. That's what I wanted to.
Right.
Okay.
So Kanta and myself talked a bit earlier about the importance of also publishing instances of police violence. So I could talk now about the fact that my hand is broken, but there are actually other people who got injured more badly than I did. I have heard of someone having been bitten by dogs that were unleashed upon them. I have heard of a person with internal bleeding due to being beaten up by the police, and there's many more. And I think so. I would like to call out to people who have been injured, whether mildly or badly, by the police, to also speak out on this and publish this, because I believe this is, in fact, the strength that we have through the methods of non-violent protest, which is only one of several methods. But it becomes weak if we do not use it to actually expose the structural violence that is behind all of this. So at this moment, when the police starts beating us, this is when the structural violence becomes visible and becomes concrete. And this is exactly what we have to publish, what we have to show. From a historical perspective, of course, we often refer to the civil rights movement in the United States of America, where actually the groups around Martin Luther King also deliberately mobilized towards places where they knew that the police would be violent, where they knew that there was racist police that would be extremely aggressive. So their purpose was to expose the structural violence within the racist system in that case, by actually provoking through non-violent means the violence of the state that was already there anyway, but it had to be visualized, had to be made visible. So of course this is a different context, but still, if we meet the police in a situation like this, we are very vulnerable because we are not armed. They are armed to the teeth. They have their helmets, they have their protection, they have their batons, they have lethal weapons if necessary. But by the methods of this non-violent resistance, we basically try to turn our weakness into our strength and expose the violence that is already there. So therefore, I think it's very important to show it to people. So I would call to other people who have been injured in this case, and also to the medics to expose what actually happened there.
Yeah. Thank you so much for adding this. And yeah, of course, if there's someone of you who experienced this horrible police violence and you want to contact us, then please write at the press, at the Media AG, or call us or write us an email.
Or you can also call the EA number.
Yeah, like the legal support team.
Mm-hmm. So this is like anonymous, and they can also help you with like how you can go on from this. Yeah.
And it's really, thank you so much for the perspective on the topic on violence, about social movements, because we are now talking about the violence we experienced. But yeah, it's, you must know it, like as a press speaking person of Lützi, I assume the media comes often to you and asks about the super violent social movement we are.
Yes.
So yeah, thank you so much for the perspective on that. Or I don't know if you want like to add something.
No, I mean, of course, there's also, I think we have to also mention that like, also from the protester side, there were stones flying, there were like fireworks burning towards Lützi or the police, you could say. And so it wasn't like completely non-violent, but you have to say that I can also, like, I wouldn't do it myself, but like, I can understand that people are angry, and people are angry that 2.5 years we have tried everything non-violently. We have like written petitions, demonstrations. We have even gone to talk with the actual Minister of Economics, Mona Neubauer, which is part of the Green Party in Germany, to actually talk about all the facts around Lützerath, which say that we don't need this coal for energy safety, although we have the gas stop from Russia, and although we have now phased out nuclear power, but nothing worked. So now people are angry, and that there are always people in a mass of a lot of people who are more violent than others. I think that's everywhere. It's the same. Either like you go to a football match, there are also people who are a bit more violent than others, but still the press is not only talking about that one bottle which is flying, but like you talk about the match, and the match here is against time for our survival, actually. And this is never enough talking about.
Yeah, and to talk about the violence of the climate crisis, and the question of life and death you already mentioned.
Yeah.
And I think what the person just mentioned also is that we are a part of a worldwide social movement, and we really felt that in the last days as well, because the fight for climate justice is a fight that started 500 years ago as a fight against colonialization and against capitalism, and is still going on. It won't end today. And we want to show you some statements we received in solidarity this weekend. For example,
this was amazing.
This is so cool. Here you can see a press conference being held in Uganda from the Fridays for Future activists. I was so overwhelmed when I thought that they actually did a press conference.
That's so crazy. Shout out to Ida, who's sitting there on the left. They were just amazing. There were also a lot of activists from Uganda visiting us together with Vanessa Nakate, and they are actually having quite the same struggle. Well, not the same, I wouldn't say, but like there are also villages being evicted for fossil fuels by a huge fossil fuel company, Total, which is based obviously in the global north in France. And they want to build an oil pipeline through Uganda, through one of also the most biodiverse areas. So shout out and solidarity also to our friends in Uganda and friends and comrades. We love you, we see you, and next time it's against Total.
There were also so many other photos in solidarity coming to us. We can only show you some. There were, for example, 2 blockades of the highway to Lützerath to block like the police forces. There was a statement in the winter trekking route, the strike from WEF in Davos. There was a solidarity yeah, you can see them in Davos as well. There was a solidarity statement from the Protestant Church in Germany. Also a statement from Together Against the Animal Industry, Berlin. Our comrades from Palermo, you can see them here.
Wow.
And from a house in Berlin called Sama 32. So these are just a few examples we wanted to show you to show the variety, and I think we made it quite clear as a movement that we came together this weekend, not only in presence in Lützi, but also in social media, in our hearts and our emotions, as a fight we are fighting together.
Yeah, it's just amazing. So
we already talked a lot, so maybe,
maybe
some of you, before we come to an end, maybe some of you have some questions you would like to ask us. Maybe we ask our team, were there any questions coming in? Yeah, there are.
Oh, how
So-
many demonstrators were injured during yesterday's police attacks? Well, I've got the information from one of our paramedics that it's like
There's not an official number.
no,
is
there's
there?
not an official number yet, but we can civilly talk about like a high second digit number, like 80, 90-ish, up to 100-ish.
Yeah.
So we still don't know, but what do we do know was that there were a lot of people who were also severely injured, and also several really which was like between life and death. So, for example, the dog bite, and also like internal bleedings. So, and one was almost needed to be flown away in a helicopter because it was really dangerous, but there was actually no helicopter available. So,
We have the next questions. They are highlighting one question for us. There was criticism of the eviction by a parliamentary observer. I don't know about...
there was
What the-
criticism of the eviction by a parliamentary observer.
Like
Oh.
criticizing the way the eviction is done, I imagine, but I don't know of what case we are talking in.
I also don't know, but parliamentary observers also criticized the eviction. There have been a couple from different parties. Also, the right-wing party has been there as the parliamentary observers. So not every parliamentary observer is welcome to Lützi, we have to say. And
But yeah, I don't know if I imagine we didn't answer the question, so I'm sorry, we don't know what it's about exactly.
But yeah, so if the parliamentary observers criticize the eviction, then it's yes. Definitely, like the parliamentary observers are also always in contact with the police, and we are also not only talking to the police about what they're doing wrong and to RWE, but also telling that to the parliamentary observers so they can also lay in a good word for us. And sometimes it's also very crucial as, well, in this system, they have another situation of like talking to the police, of course.
I think there's one really nice question as well, who says, what can I do if I can't come to Lützi? I think this happens to a lot of people that weren't able to come to the demonstration maybe, or to come to the camp. What would you suggest them? I think there are a lot of different ways to support and to be part of the struggle.
I think there are super different ways. Like if you are rich and you have money,
Give it to us.
you can donate the money to us, especially to the Küfa, the kitchen for all, which is like cooking every day, 3 meals a day, and they still need money to like buy the food, and also
Also
keep
our
their-
paramedics, they
Exactly.
need new staff, like we need money for paying repression. So there's a lot of possibilities
That's
with
a
money.
good thing with money. Everyone who doesn't have money, of course, you can also help Lützi. There's for everybody, there's something you can do. You can also check out like what you would like to do. Like for example, if you love to chill and just scroll through Instagram in the nighttime when you come home, then you maybe could also check what's been said in social media about Lützerath, and check out different posts, and if there are people who still have questions, or there is so much. I mean, there's so much hate in the internet, and there's also a lot of questions still. For example, why should we keep a village where nobody is living anymore, or where all the structures are now evicted? But as we all know, the coal is still under Lützerath, and it needs to stay there. And if it's still there, then we still can fight for climate justice.
Maybe this is a good... this is leading us to another question, because someone asks if we really need the coal under Lützerath. So maybe someone is worried about energy security, or I don't know, what would you tell someone who asks if we really need the coal?
Actually, the government takes numbers from RWE which say that they need the coal for whatever, I guess for their profits. But the German Institute for Economy, actually, and these are like the leading experts in like energy safety, they say that this deal that RWE gets the coal under Lützerath is corruption, and is a plain lie, that we don't need the coal under Lützerath to secure energy safety, even if there's no gas from Russia, and if we are phasing out nuclear power, we don't need the coal to ensure that people have energy. And also actually
it's worse. Like burning all the coal would, like, I don't know how to express it, but would cause that much emissions that we pass way the 1.5 limit of global warming. So thank you for this question. Tell it to other people in Instagram and Twitter. Tell it to your families, your friends. This is also a great way of supporting us. Like, speak to the people around you. And speaking is a good topic as well. We spoke a lot already. The last question that someone asks is if Lützerath is already gone, and maybe this is a good way to round up the live stream. And what would you say? Like, is Lützerath already gone? I assume the media asks you a lot about this.
Yeah.
How can we send some hope?
The thing is that everybody kind of knew it, but now I really feel it. And this might sound a bit pathetic, but I think
I like pathetic.
I think Lützi is never gone. Although the houses may be gone, and it's really, 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 it's really so devastating to see that actually this village which we have built the last years, and so many people have put so much love and effort into structures like the tower and all the little huts in the tree houses that are evicted now and destroyed. They didn't even leave a piece. So yeah, it's really frustrating, but actually the connections we have made in Lützi, they will forever stay. For example, we got to know each other through Lützi, so, and that's so beautiful. And also the global bonds of solidarity and friendship and kinship we have got through Lützi, as people were just like coming together with a vision, with hope, radical hope for a better future. I think this is what never go away, and I've already seen it in an article, but I think this is also true, that Lützi somehow goes down in history.
Definitely.
And this fight for climate justice, as there's never been in the recent years this time and moment where like all the different climate groups come together in the fight, joined in the fight against fossil fuel and fossil capitalism, like XR, like Ende Gelände, like FFR, Fridays for Future, and Extinction Rebellion, and now Last Generation, and so many more, Alle Dörfer bleiben, and so on, so on. So, Scientist Rebellion. I mean, I could go on forever. But this is so crazy, and I think this is also what like people after this demonstration have said. Like, this is so crazy to see like how different tactics, how different people are coming together, and actually yes, and still the coal is under Lützi, and
it's still occupied as well. There are still people in the tunnel, so our occupation is going on, the resistance is going on. And yeah, I already said it, like the fight for climate justice didn't start in Lützi, it won't end there. We are needed in other places all over the world. There are a lot of other occupations in the whole world, but also in Germany. And we will be there. I will use my anger and my experiences here from Lützi and give these emotions into the next fights, because this is what we have to keep doing. Like, it's us who have to fight the climate crisis and to fight for climate justice. And yeah, this is what we will keep on doing.
And we will start and continue doing that on Tuesday, as Ende Gelände is actually doing and preparing an action here around Lützi. So come to the Rhine-Bronco region, come see the destruction and this massive hole yourself, to actually imagine how dystopian it can be, but also see how the people have actually built on utopia. And and it's possible to bring them down, and to see how Earth is fighting back. We have one last beautiful chocolate for you. This is a beautiful scene from the last demonstration on Saturday.
I think it's our humor against their repression as well.
I mean, I love it. Oh no. I've also heard it. Oh my god.
This is my favorite moment. Like,
oh my
this
god.
is so great.
the best guy ever. Hey, we should have put like Dirty from Christina Aguilera under it.
Oh, that would be nice.
Oh, that's so cute. I haven't been there. I've been in Lützi. People are crazy. Even in the mud. They just go on.
This is how we end our live streams. Thank you so much for listening, to be part of Lützi, to support us. I hope, we gave you some lighter feeling after all the depressing things we talked about. And we will see each other in Lützi at some other fights or in the next live stream. Thank you so much.
Have a
Bye.
great